Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are taking a look at Ascension Tactics Inferno. So this is the follow-up to Ascension Tactics. This is a standalone, but can be mixed together. Before we jump into what's in the box here, I just want to show off the beautiful playmat that they produced this time. This one is actually bigger because there's spots for everything, you know, draw decks and discard decks and everything else over here. This side is pre-printed with, I believe, like the first scenario, the one you probably will play the most often, so you don't have to put, you know, the landscape tiles on. But then the back side is just blank, has the same areas. If this had stitched edges, it would be perfect. Other than that, it's very nice. It's thicker than the mat they produced for just Ascension Tactics. So take that for what you will. And on the opposite side, you could use this mat for Ascension Tactics scenarios, just using the other side that is blank. So this is... well, I think all of them come with standees, but I just backed the standee version. Again, I've got a ton of plastic in my life. Maybe someday down the road, I may, you know, get the plastic minis, but for me, the standees work perfectly fine. And I don't think they took my suggestion, not that they should have, but this is an interesting little sticker. Day one backer. I guess they kept up with that. I don't remember if I earned anything for being a day one backer other than a sticker, but I don't think they took my suggestion of making the standees a little more shapely, but we'll see. So, all right, right off the back here, we have a thank you letter, which again is a nice touch. You know, used to be only Awakened Realms was doing that. Now these are popping up more and more in places, which is nice. We have some shiny stickers. You know, these are the factions. I don't think these have a gameplay element. I think they're just for fun, but I could be wrong. So we'll set those off to the side. Rule book here. I have taken a look at the digital rule book. What's nice is that there are sections to where they discuss what is new. So let's see if we can find one of those sections here. New to here. Attaching quests. New to Inferno. So you can, if you're very familiar with Ascension Tactics, you can just kind of find those areas, read up on what's new or different. The rule book is only the first however many pages, 27 pages, and then we have the scenarios here. So the PvP scenarios are basically just, you know, tells you for how many players. It just basically sets up the terrain, tells you where to start, but then you just play. Whereas then the campaign scenarios, these can be played cooperatively or solo. There's actually a deck of cards that control the opponent. These actually work really well. The campaigns for Ascension Tactics were very well done. And some people say this is the best way to play the game, not necessarily head-to-head. So, again, they just kind of set up everything. Here are the victory conditions. It tells you, you know, suggested rosters, and then, you know, at some point here it tells you maybe this is who you go against, or maybe this, yeah, I don't know. The other one, it gave you specific people who you played against, but I don't see that here. Oh no, I'm sorry. These are the PvP scenarios. We got to jump ahead to 39. Okay, yeah, here's solo scenarios. Co-op mode play. Yeah, so here's like the first solo scenario. So here you can say you're playing as the Rat King, the Ravenous Gorf, the Sordid Asp, and the Corrosive Widow. You're always going to have these symbols, these same 4 symbols attached to the villains, because that's when you flip a card over, you'll see these symbols, and that tells you who to activate. Anyways, there's the rule book. Okay, so we are sticking with the same square standees. It's fine. I mean, I'm not that fussed about it. Again, I made the decision not to get the minis. I can always change that decision down the road. So, but here are the standees. So you only have standees for champions, essentially. You don't have a standee for every single card. And these are, yeah, just same thing on the opposite side. Here you're starting to see things like minions. I'm assuming the Wretched will be some sort of minion. Giant rats are, I believe, the replacement to the cultists, which if you're familiar with Ascension or Ascension Tactics, cultists are like little minions that anybody can activate, and you just slap a base of your team color on them to signify they're yours. And now we have just various terrains and portals and stuff that are going to be going on to the map. These are tokens you can acquire. Look at this guy. This is like a 3-piece one here. Beazle Pug, Lord of Barkness. Okay. Demon Pug Spawn? I don't remember that, but all right. These are treasure tokens, so you're going to flip them over here. You'll gain them, you'll pick them up, and then it'll give you like a little one-time use double shield. Here are the, tokens you mainly use in solo mode to say, all right, this villain is, this character, or so on and so forth. More terrain. This looks like trees. These are probably some of the bosses. The terrain is double-sided, so it could be something on the other side. Webs. I know those are new to Inferno, but I don't know what they do. Your portal gates. So these are going to be your portal gates. So this is like 1, 2, 3 players. There must be a 4th color around here somewhere. Maybe not. Oh, the backside. There we go. So there's your, your 4 colors. So if you're playing 2-player, you're going to be blue and yellow. If you're playing 4-player or 3-player, you can use these 4 colors. Anyways, these guys here, the ones that look like crystals coming out of them, these are like your scoring points. So if you're standing on or adjacent to these and you have the area majority, you're going to score crystals. Once someone reaches a certain number of crystals, they trigger the end of the game. So also taking out other people's champions can gain you crystals. All right, here is the board. I believe the board, if you don't have the player mat, is the same way. There's not a spot for the cards on the board, but yes, the board is pre-printed with that first scenario. So there you go. You don't need the play mat. Lots of storage. This looks pretty nice. The storage tray for Ascension Tactics worked well too. Here's your crystals. These are basically just VP. This is how you keep track of your VP. I don't know why there's white ones, but pretty sure the red ones are just that. A little baggie, maybe for random treasure pull. Yeah, treasure bag. Okay. Here are the little standees for your champions and, say, a giant rat on your team color. We have some card dividers, which is nice. And we have some extra cards here. Wonder if these are like my first day Kickstarter. I mean, Apprentice. This looks like a starting card here. This is a foil rat card. Monster minion card. And then we have these Apprentice cards. Curious as to what else these might look like. They're all the same. So is this, I don't know what these are for. It's considered a hero. +1. I don't know. I'll have to look up and see why you would use these. Apprentice, Militia. It's like Dawn of the Dead or something. So there's those. And it's a deck building game. So obviously the rest of what we're going to have in here is the deck. So the backs of the cards are colored based on, whether they're going to be in certain decks. And the sleeves, which I actually don't, they're over there. I don't have them here at the table, but the sleeves are kind of see-through, certain opaque, so you can tell what color the cards are, which is nice. So I'm not going to look at every card in detail, but let's just look at some of them. So your Apprentice, this is like a starting card here. This is basically purchasing power. So here you're going to have some starting purchasing power. The card quality here is really nice. And here you have some command power. And then you can improve. Maybe start. I think you maybe start with one Mystic in your hand, but this is like the the card that's always available to purchase for 2. You can always spend 2 to get 2 to increase your purchasing power. I think there's a upgraded, heavy infantry. You can always purchase for 2 to increase your command power. So knowing that the basics are purchasing power and command power, purchasing power is very self-explanatory. Command power, here are all the champions. So you can see here, these are all unique cards. And these actually don't ever get shuffled into your deck. Demon Bug Spawn, Rat King. Some of these probably are bad guys. Maybe you can play with them. I don't know. Either way, every hero has a standard movement of, I think it's 3 movement on the map, but some might have, bonuses here. They also, I can't remember, I don't think Ascension Tactics had dual faction characters, but like this guy is blue and orange. He's Enlightened and Mechana champion. But when I'm able to spend 3 command points, I can choose to use those to get this Cannon Templar moving. I can then move and attack with him on his turn. Any bonuses he has listed here work, but basically he attacks for 5 and he blocks for 6. Any amount of damage he takes, he is removed off the map. So I don't have to discard this card. His little standee is moving around the playmat. Again, moving for 3. And if I come adjacent to somebody, I can attack them for 5. If I'm not able to take them out in one foul swoop, they're going to heal back up. It's basically all or nothing. But if you take them out, they remove their standee, and they have to then pay command to put them on the portal and get them moving again. You can, say, put 2 people up against one. So say this guy here is 6, and this guy here is only 3. I could also bring in this Ravenous Gorf. I could put these guys both adjacent to my Cannon Templar, so I would need 4 total command in that turn, but they would both strike him for 7. That would defeat him for 6. Otherwise, if just the Jara the Unbreakable attacked him, he would be fine. There's no holdover damage or anything like that. There's no damage tokens that you have to place on champions. Everybody also gets one of these cards. This is a gateway card. This sits next to your champions. Once per turn, you can gain. So you almost always have at least 2 command. You will never go through a turn where all you can do is buy stuff. There's those. Let's take a look at these other 2 big stacks here. Most of these cards are going to be kind of your market row cards. So just cards that you do purchase with your purchasing power. You shuffle, you put in your discard pile, you shuffle that discard pile up when you need it, and eventually they go into your hand, you play them on your turn, and then you discard them. So cards like this. It costs you 3, and then you do the stuff on the text here. So here's gain 2 and draw a card. And there's other symbols. When you play Druid's Wreath, gain 2. So this one costs 1. It's a construct, which is interesting because constructs actually are attached to your champions, leaving this bottom part, so it would give you +2 defense. But this one also says when you play this card, you get 2 command. So lots of these, different types of stuff. The constructs are really fun though, because you put them in your discard pile, they come up in your hand eventually. When you play them, you attach them to a champion, and until the champion is defeated and their little standee is taken off the board, the construct stays with them. When they're defeated, you take all the constructs off, they go into your discard pile, and then you'll eventually get them back. Fallen Hero here. This guy's a little different. Or no, Fallen Champion. That's what I was looking for here. Oh, no, Fallen Construct. No, that's not what I'm looking for either. Here we go. Fallen Champion. This is a new type of card, I believe, for Inferno. This will be in the market row, but you don't spend purchasing power. You just spend, this type of power. So instead of commanding one of your standees, you would spend that power to take this guy. This guy then actually, there's a standee for him. He gets laid down in your champion row, and he is a new player that you can work with. Same with Beazle Pug here. All right. There's one more type of card that is new to Ascension Tactics that I want to show off before we end this unboxing video. And here they are. Last but not least. All right. So last but not least, we have these quest cards. These are, villain champions. This is what you use in the solo and co-op modes. 5 stars is 5 victory points if you defeat him. So everybody probably has one of these cards for solo mode. Scheme cards. These are, before I get to the final cards, the scheme cards are what you will flip over on a solo turn to control the AI. So each player discards a card at random, and then they command. Remember, we gave each villain a symbol. Here, they would command the moon one. But you have to keep track of how many scheme cards are in the discard pile, because once you get to 8, if you flip this card over and there's 8 cards in the discard pile, you do the bottom effect, which is more dastardly. So that's how the AI works. Very easy, very straightforward. But last but not least, something new to Ascension Tactics are these quests. So this is a different card back. This one always sits up. I don't know why it's double-sided. But you can always take the exploration action by paying 3 command, and you look at the top 2 cards of the quest deck. So this deck sits off to the side, separate from everything else. You look at the top 2 cards. You can choose one to go into your discard pile. All right, so these cards get shuffled in with the rest of your cards. You can see the back looks the same, but it's going to be a separate pile. When this card comes up, if you're able to accomplish the task, play another enlightened card. So you can't play this one. It's an enlightened quest, Blessing of the Wind. If you're able to play another enlightened card on the same turn that you have this in your hand, you get the reward. In this case, this champion has Enlightened Allegiance plus 2 movement. All right, Blessings of the Wind, they get blown around. Quests get attached, once you have completed them, quests get attached to a champion like a construct does, but they do not go away when the champion is defeated. So I thought that was a cool addition. And that's it. Like I said, it's a deck builder, so there's lots of unique cards in this giant market deck here. And there are ways to combine this with Ascension Tactics, the first game. But for right now, I'm going to keep them separate, and we're going to check and see how it works. Let me check under here. Nope, no secrets underneath. But there you go. All right. Yeah, that's going to do it for our unboxing of Ascension Tactics Inferno. We will be getting this one to the table at some point or another, so keep your eye out for that. If you are interested in knowing when that video drops, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell icon. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.